Hello, welcome to the first video in a series. Firstly, my name is Mario. I'm a South African from Pretoria, South Africa. And what this video series will be about is just me documenting my journey in attempting to run a sub 3-hour marathon at this year's Cape Town Marathon, which takes place in October. So it is currently the 24th of June. So I'm about 1 and a bit weeks into my Cape Town training block. It's just base building runs though, so no hectic speed sessions or anything yet. The whole purpose of this is firstly to just document my training for the sake of documenting my training. It's maybe to help someone or some people in the process, maybe to get help from you guys in the process. I'm no expert in this, but I've learned a lot over the last few years, and I just want to share that with people. Another main reason is I have a little boy. He's 1.5 years old, and I just wonder one day when he's a bit older, maybe I just have something to show to him to say, listen, you can do difficult things if you put your mind to it and if you put the training to it. So that's the idea behind this. Join me, don't join me, doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for any influence or I don't need views or subscriptions or any of that stuff. It is just personal documentation. But if you do enjoy that kind of thing, then So as this is the first video in the series, I thought a good idea would be to just run through not only the training that I will be doing, but actually the training that I have done leading up to where I am now. I think often YouTubers, they make videos talking about their training block, going for a sub 3-hour marathon or whatever, but they don't really always say what fitness level they are currently at. And I think that is important because for sub 3-hour marathon, just for interest's sake, you'd need to run at around 4 minutes 15 per K. And you're not just doing that from couch to marathon. That's not happening. It takes some time and it takes some level of fitness already. So I think in today's video, I will firstly take you along for an easy run and then go through the training that I've done, the kind of times that I've run over the last few months, and then I'll just briefly go into my training block. I have it all on spreadsheets, things that I've made myself. Part of running and exercising not only is to push myself and reach my goals, but I also enjoy making programs and figuring things out as I go. So I'm self-coached because I enjoy it. Part of my studies was human movement sciences and sports sciences, so I just enjoy it. I've always loved sports, so making my own programming and figuring what works for me and what doesn't work for me and what works on the 5K training versus the marathon training, that's part of the journey for me. Maybe one day I'll be a coach, I don't know. It is what it is. For now, it's just I enjoy the learning process. But if maybe some of you are also training for Cape Town Marathon, well, I'll make my program public. You can make a copy of it, adjust it as you need, and then maybe we can go through the training block together. I'll most likely make a video every week if time allows. Won't be crazy long videos. It'll be videos where I just go through my week's training and maybe have like a little topic to discuss. So what is easy running? What is my nutrition? What do I do for strength training? Do I even do strength training? All of these things. Maybe these are questions you have embarking on your first marathon prep. So but for now, let's go into that easy run. Monday, 65 minutes easy. Should get me around 12 Ks. Week 2 of Cape Town, wearing the shirt from last year. But let's see.
Just taking it chill today. Almost 5Ks in. Not gonna lie, this running and talking thing on the camera is weird. I don't know how influencers do this. Anyways, heart rate 128, but that's just because I had it downhill. So, yep, ongoing. 10Ks in, just hit 10Ks. Heart rate is at 145 because I just ran up a hill. That's how it is. Sometimes it's down there, other times it's up there, but I'll be looking at the average. 2Ks left. There you go. 66 minutes, well, 12.16. Average pace 5:30 per K. I accidentally restarted the watch with my wrist or something, so data's a bit skewed. Doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. Easy run. I try to, at the end of my easy runs, walk up a hill backwards. Just helps with some knee aches. But yeah, looks stupid. But then again, I'm holding a little camera in my hand in the streets, so I'm embracing the stupid, I guess. Anyways.
Alright, so let's see. Let's go through the training. So over here I've got my Strava open, and I just wanted to go back to October last year. Over here was my first marathon. That was in fact this specific marathon, the Cape Town Marathon, and I went for a sub 3 hours 30, and I achieved a time of 3 hours 25. So I was very happy with that for my first ever marathon. Things went as well as they could. I just wanted to show you. So leading up to this, these were the kinds of weeks I was doing. So here was a peak. My peak at that stage was 91, but the rest was really not that good. As you can see, 90, 80, 60, 70. So consistency wasn't that great, especially because I got very sick in the peak weeks. Luckily, I was fine for the final peak week, so it was actually okay. And yeah, things turned out well. Since that race, training stayed around this 50 Ks a week mark. And then I set myself goals for the year. The first one was to run a sub 25K because I hadn't done that at that point. I did manage the sub 25K. Then the next goal I had set for myself was to run as close to 1 hour 30 for the half marathon. Now you might be saying, well, if I want to run sub 3, why would I only have a goal of 1 hour 30 for the half? Because, I mean, surely running that twice is going to be way more difficult. But my thinking was, well, if I do that earlier in the year, by the time I get to October, I'll obviously have gained a hell of a lot of fitness. My race that I was aiming at was a race in Irene, that's also here in South Africa, and it was in March. So I'll find it, here it is. My training was around 70, 70, 60, 60, so I kept it around the 60 to 70, some weeks of 50 and so on, and then I tapered. I did a little 10-day taper, so volume went down, and then I ran a 1 hour 31, which, considering the course, it was quite hilly, and considering how early it was in the year, I was actually quite happy with this. After this race, I did a lot of reading, and I just thought maybe one thing I should change is the amount of volume I do. If I'm gonna be taking this sub 3 hour thing seriously, my volume needs to match that. And a number that kept coming up online through the posts that I read, through videos that I was watching, is that really there was a breaking point for many people around the 60 to 70 miles a week. So that's between 90 and 115 Ks a week. So the week after this race, I instantly bumped my volume up to average around the 80s, 90s. And then, training since then, I've been maintaining 90, 90, 90, 103, 110, 107, 105. So my volume has been very consistent since then. To backtrack a bit, one thing I want to show is just my training block for that half marathon. So I do everything in spreadsheets like this. I tick off when I've done a workout. I change my values up here, which give me the volume for the week. One thing I do want to show is that I had 3 sessions in a week. So all of these are easy runs, and then the red, blue, yellow, orange, those runs are sessions. I would call them fast threshold, slow threshold. It's just terms I made up. I know what they mean. We don't need to get into that right now. But after this block, so after I had run that Irene race, in this training block, even though the volume wasn't crazy, I felt constant niggles, constant pains in my hamstring, in my Achilles. Nothing serious, nothing that I couldn't run. I could still train, but it was a constant issue. And I'm well aware as runners do have constant niggles. So I spoke to a friend of mine who had run a 2 hours 27, I think, on the marathon. And he said what I could do is just cut out one of the sessions a week and turn that into a still longer run, but with strides at the end. What I then changed going into the next block is that my Thursday sessions, I literally just turned into easy/steady runs plus strides at the end. Yeah, the distance of those runs was still higher than just my normal easy runs, but this made a massive difference for me personally. So I always have Tuesday sessions unless work or something gets in the way, but the idea is to always have Tuesday sessions. These sessions I would focus on shorter, slightly shorter, speedier stuff, and then my long runs on the weekend. I know it's the hype thing to say that long, slow runs and all of that stuff. I do not believe in long, slow runs at all, unless you are just in a recovery week or something like that. Other than that, your long runs need to be hard. There needs to be an element of difficulty in the long runs, especially for the half marathon and marathon. The reason I say that, there's a sports principle called specificity, and the most specific run in the week for the marathon is your long run. So if in your long run you are just running slow and easy, then you are doing 0 specific work for the marathon. So if your goal, and obviously you can adjust this for your goal, but if your goal time is sub 3 hours 30, then in your long runs you need to be running 4 minutes 50 a K. It has to happen, because that's the only time you will feel what tired legs feel like towards the end of these 20-30 K runs. I consider the long run a session day, and Tuesday is session day, and then the Thursday is slightly longer, slightly faster than just easy. That is something I changed, and I believe because of this change I was able to up my volume so much. I know people say that increasing your volume drastically, like I did, I went from averaging 60 Ks a week to 90 Ks a week consistently. I can tell you this, I have not felt as many niggles in this time with this volume as I did prior. And I'm a firm believer it's because intensity is actually what injures you. It's volume, obviously there's limits to this, but the intensity is really what causes the damage. And I did, since that race, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 11 weeks in a row of this volume. The reason the volume came down here is because I tapered down just for a 10-kilometer time trial that I ran in an area here in Pretoria. I did a 39:20 or 39:26. I'll be honest, at the end of that run I felt like I could have pushed it more. I was very stoked with that. So start of the year, a 5K block that got me a sub 25K for the first time. Then after that, a half marathon block that got me as close to 130 as possible. I got 131, which is not ideal, but not bad. Then I went into a 10K block, which got me a 39 minutes 10K, and now I'm going into the marathon block. So yeah, earlier in the video I said I want to show you what I have done and the times I have run. It's not to boast or anything like that, because these times in the world of running are actually not that fast at all. But my point is, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm going into this marathon build quite fit already, and now it is into my Cape Town build. So this is my training block. So first 2 weeks just to get back into the volume, because like I said, I just came down a bit for that 10K, but now I'm going straight back into this around 90 to 100K zone. And yeah, I thought with this series what I'll do is just go through my weeks at the end of the week. This will be my training block. It is in total, including these 2 weeks, it is a 18-week block. I do have this marked out red. That's because I'm in Germany at this time, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I do with my training. I might move this long run over like earlier so that I can do it before I leave, and I might make my biggest run, most difficult run of the block, I might have that here the next week on the Tuesday or something and push this back. Not ideal, but such is life. Sometimes you have to roll with the punches in marathon training, so that this is something I'll figure out when I get closer to there. As I said, I'll make a copy of this public in the video. If you want to, you can just make a copy of it. So I'll obviously share a uneditable version, then you make a copy of it, and then you'll be able to edit it however you want, if you want to, or if you just want to look at it and judge it, that's also fine. If you look at this and you see any things that you disagree with, let me know. I'm not an expert. I've done one marathon. I've done a lot of running in my life, but I've done one marathon, so there's obviously a lot I can learn. And yeah, join me on this journey. If you are also embarking on the Cape Town Marathon build, good luck. Yeah, pop in every now and then and check. Let me know how your training is going. Yeah, let's do this. I'm excited to attempt the sub 3. I know it's a ambitious goal. Going from 3:25 to sub 3 is a bit silly, but whatever. Go big or go home, right? Yeah, anyways. We'll see you next week in the next video. Just one last thing, I'm not gonna make super fancy videos. Like I said, I'm not trying to become an influencer. I can't do this talking to a camera thing on runs, holding a camera. As you saw in that video, it's just too weird for me. I'm literally just doing this to document it, and yeah, I will try my best. Like last year, I actually have a video up of last year's Cape Town race. I take a video with the little Insta360. Not the best quality, but it does the job and it shares the experience with people who want to see it. Anyways, so next week, maybe if you come back, I'll keep training and I'll keep making videos. Anyways, bye bye.